What's going on, people of YouTube? My name has been Kurtyoy, and welcome back to another video now. Hallelujah, praise the heavens above. FPL, Fantasy Premier League, is finally here, and if you want a league to play against others and also myself, then that'll be right down the bottom of the screen, also in the description for you to copy and paste. My league code for this season's FPL is 10001-4073. Come join, it'll be a load of fun, and that is that. Let's get on with the video. Right, so it's come down to that point of the year where FPL is finally here. That rhymed. And you need to put some players in your team, but it always comes to that point. You haven't really seen much pre-season, and you don't know who is a safe bet. Well, I've got for you 10 of the most must-have players in Fantasy Premier League this season, with current players that are on there, obviously. Let's jump into things with our first player, who is, of course, Mesut Ozil. Now, yes, it may be strange to people, but Mesut Ozil was actually the first pick for me, and these are in no particular order, by the way. But Mesut Ozil comes in at 9.5 million, which I believe he was cheaper than he was last season, which for someone that scored 6 goals and 19 assists, it's not too bad. And, you know, what else do they have? Price of 9.5, played 35 times in the league, 6 goals, 19 assists. As a midfielder, Arsenal very well known for getting clean sheets as well, which means he gets to a point, you know, basically 1 in every 2 games. So for me, it's a no-brainer. Next up, we've got Andre Gray. Now, Andre Gray set the championship on fire. Daichi almost maintained that he didn't have to spend big money for players, and he bought Andre Gray, and everyone was like, whoa, you know, there wasn't any need for that, what have you done? But he did some shrewd business, scoring a whopping, and I say whopping, 25 goals and also 10 assists in 44 games in all competitions last season. Andre Gray managed to, you know, get 35 goals, you know, either scored or assisted in, and that for me is someone that is in the form of his life, and that for me is someone who should be in your teams. Next up, we've got Liverpool have sold him to Bournemouth, and that is why Jordan Ibe is a must-have for any FPL player. He comes in at just a little bit under the £6 million mark at 5.5. You're wondering, well, you know, why is he such a must-have player? Because you look at his stats for last season: 43 games, 4 goals and 4 assists in all competitions. That's not too good, but he's always shown potential, he's always shown promise, and for me, you know, he's moulded his way and he's played a decent amount of time at Liverpool. He's going to really hit the ground running at Bournemouth. £15 million, and I think it's £50 million well spent, and if you get him at 5.5, I think it's £5.5 million well spent. Moving on from Jordan, we've got another promoted player, this time another striker in Abel Hernandez. Now his record for last season's championship totals wasn't as good as Andre Gray's. He came in at 45 games played, 22 goals and 4 assists, but they operate with a lone striker formation, and with the ability to build around him, and he's also a fox in the box. It's definitely worth keeping an eye on him, and for me, looking at his price of £6 million, it's really not bad for that cheap budget striker to fill in your third role up front. Following on from that, we've got another young English winger who's transferred to another club this season, and that is Nathan Redmond, going from Norwich to Southampton. Now, he comes in just £6 million, I should have said. And why is he such a good player? For me, it's simple. They've got rid of Sadio Mane. They need someone to fill that void. Nathan Redmond is quality. He's got pace, got everything Sadio Mane had. And for me, he's definitely worth having. £6 million, it'll allow Tadic to move into centre, and last season, considering he was playing for Norwich, his stats weren't too bad. He managed to grab himself 35 games, 6 goals and 2 assists in the league. So for me, Nathan Redmond is definitely someone you should be looking into and definitely getting this season in FPL. And now we have our first defender on the list, and he goes by the name of Kyle Walcott. Now, many heads were turned when he managed to pick himself up in the first team right-back selection ahead of Nathaniel Klein. But I think he showed good reason to be there. Besides the disappointing performance against Iceland, he had a really good Euro 2016. And if he got any further, he would have made it into the team of the tournament. You know, in my opinion, if we would have got further than Iceland at this point, let's put it that way. But I'm looking at him, decent stats for last season. You look at the fact Spurs had a really solid defence up until the last few game weeks where they sort of capitulated, but this season will be a lot stronger. Walcott played 33 games, scoring 1 goal, grabbing 3 assists, and he comes in at 5.5 million, considering Toby Alderweireld is 6.5 and you've got Danny Rose at 6. I think you're looking at Kyle Walker as potentially the Spurs defender to have for this season. And now we've got our last striker on the list, and I remember the name of Jermain Defoe. Now, someone I maybe pushed to get a spot in Roy Hodgson's team for the Euros, didn't get it, but he had a pretty good season himself, and I feel like definitely if Allardyce keeps his role and doesn't go to England, to keep his role as Sunderland job, then Jermain Defoe could have another good season. Jermain Defoe's price at £7 million could seem a bit excessive, but I feel like he's definitely a player to have, and he's played 33 games, scoring 15 goals and 1 assist, which considering he had to play against under Dick Advocat for a lot of the season, and also moulding in Sam Allardyce's system, for me, Jermain Defoe is definitely one to get in your teams. Our second and final defender and our second and final right back, as a matter of fact, is Craig Dawson. Now, Craig Dawson is always a strange one. You think, hold on a minute, why is he in there? But £5 million for a defender is quite cheap. And a West Brom defender, you're looking at Tony Pulis, trying to keep clean sheets, very good at it, and also he's not too bad going forward as well. Last season in all competitions, he picked up 40 appearances, 4 goals and 2 assists, and like I say, if you're looking for that cheap defender to put in your last defending slot, Craig Dawson's going to be your man. On to our penultimate player, and this picture right to the side is definitely one for Dean of FPL updates, and that is Mr. Sofian, I believe I'm pronouncing it right, Feghouli of West Ham, who is somehow priced at 5.5 million. Now, I don't understand that. Admittedly, if you look at his stats for last season at Valencia, they weren't very good. I believe it was Valencia. Whoever it wasn't very good. You're looking at 33 games played, 5 goals and 4 assists in all competitions, which considering for someone that is rated really highly, it's not too good. But at £5.5 million, I feel like he'll really set the Premier League alight and could have a season a bit like Dimitri Payet. And talking of Dimitri Payet, why don't I add him as number 10 for our list? Dimitri Payet, 9.5 million. Many people thinking it's a bit too expensive for him, but for me, it's a must-have. This season is going to be absolutely fantastic to see Payet versus Ozil, the West Ham versus Arsenal boys going at it. They're both the same price. They've both, really had good seasons last season, point-wise, and for me, they're both going to have a good season point-wise this season, and Payet is definitely one to have at 9.5 million. It is a bit, stretching the money. It's not, that really expensive mark like Sanchez and Hazard, but it's also not really cheap like other players. But his stats last season, they speak for themselves. 37 games, 12 goals and 15 assists in all competitions, makes Payet one of the most informed players from last season, and for me, someone that should be making your team. And that's it for this video. There'll be more videos coming soon. Hopefully you have enjoyed. Remember, my league code is down there. Like, comment, subscribe. And I'm going to dash off because I had to record this video without the windows open because there's a lot of noise outside and I'm about to die of sweating too much. Thank you all for watching. My name's been Kurtyoy, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Peace.